big fork, Joshua.
I like
Can you
big
please
fork.
get me the skinny one? That stuff like stabs my mouth. You guys, we're doing a mukbang today. My favorite mukbangers are the Batty twins. And I've been watching them so much that I'm starting to say the stuff they say. You know, like, are you dumb? Or you already know. Welcome to the Bear Pantry Show. If you want to learn how to cook in simple steps and have your dishes come out great the first time, then you're in the right place. Learn to make restaurant-style meals, comfort foods, and authentic Belizean dishes from basic ingredients. So Joshua's grabbing me a fork. Meanwhile, let me go ahead and do my thumbnail. I think I got it. All right, thank you for the fork, Josh. 10 long years ago, I published my first cookbook of recipes from my home country of Belize. My cooking show, The Bear Pantry Show, was created based on that book. 7 years later, I redid the book, removed some of the recipes that I didn't deem to be authentic enough, and added about 30 brand new recipes that are easy to follow, budget-friendly, authentic, and comes out perfect each time. Matter of fact, it comes out perfect the first time. Get your copy today only from www.barepantryshow.com. Shop safely and securely at www.barepantryshow.com. So Joe is outside. Oh my God. Let me tell you. Oh, first of all, let's get into what we're eating. Again, a garden salad. This time I have some Italian dressing on the salad, some sweet and sour chicken, and some white rice again. White rice seems to be the only grain that I can eat right now that's not doing me bad. So that's what we're doing, okay? You see it? So Joe has a little bike that well, it's not a little bike, it's an adult bike that he's been wanting to sell, right? So tell me why I put it up like 5 days ago on Facebook, and somebody finally said they're gonna come by it tomorrow, and Joe took the bike apart. Breathe, Barbara, breathe. So he better fix that bike. That man coming at 7:30 in the morning. So let me tell you why he's selling the bike. When we started riding back in 2019, what bike did I start with? The one that's in the shed. I started with this McCargy. I think I'm saying the name right. It's a beach cruiser. It's an older bike, but it's a really great bike. I bought that off of like Facebook or whatever. The lady that sold it to me said she bought the bike because she wanted to go biking with the mothers in the neighborhood, but they all drank like margaritas and stuff and then go riding, and she said she couldn't do it. Her balance was messed up. So she sold me the bike for $50. Brand new, the bike worth $600. So I absolutely love the bike, but I stopped riding it because the bike don't have any brakes in the handle, and when you go down any type of hill, it's dangerous when the chain slip, right? Because the brakes are only in the pedal. So a friend that we made on the bike trail told Joe, if you guys are going to go all the way to what's the place over there called Claremont Boulevard, which is the end of the trail that way, your wife will not be able to go on that bike because there's a hill that you go down at 35 miles an hour. If her chain slips, she's dead. Joe took that to heart. Right before he told us that, I had an incident where I was going down a small little slope, but for this story we're going to say it's a big huge hill, okay? And the chain slipped, and I'm screaming for Joe to stop me because there's a driveway that I'm going to dip into and then dip back out, and then pretty soon I'll be in the fire station over there. I'm screaming. Joe was ahead of me a little ways because, you know, he's hearing impaired, so I'm so grateful he heard me. And so he says, go past me and I'll stop you. I don't know why I thought he was going to put his arm out, you know, like this and stop me over my chest. I guess I'm dumb. He let me go by. I just see my death, you know, imminent. I'm like, am I going to throw myself on this hill over here? All he did was hold the back of the bike seat like this and pull me back like the way the parachute does when the rockets come back. Oh my God, I'm so silly. I would have never thought about that. I would have never thought about that to stop anybody, right? So that had already happened when let me lick this spoon. When the guy told Joe that. So we bought a bike in the middle of the pandemic from these people that were selling different things in town from their garage. Brand new bike, brand new in the box. We bought the bike for like $190. Right now, Amazon selling that bike for $300 and something. I don't think it's worth no 300, but for 200, yeah. I rode that bike for 9 months. And then I got the bike of my dreams from Costco. And I gave that bike away to somebody who's now an ex-friend. I don't mind though. When I give stuff away, I give it with my whole heart. And even if we followed afterwards, I don't care. I gave that to you, you know, with a clean heart. Huh? I've graduated. This is my third bike, and I love my bike. Joe started with a little teenager bike. He got off the internet again for like $30. That guy was a sweet guy that sold us the bike. He had just lost his mom. Like, I think the same year I lost my mom, so that was 3 years in when we bought the bike from him in 2019. And I think he wanted to be friends with us, but I don't know. I can't keep up a lot of friendships right now. They can be tiring, you know? But I should check in on him from time to time. He's a sweetheart. His job is to mow the lawn at the cemetery, right where his mom's buried. Anyway, Joe kept that bike for a while, but it was way too small for him because it's a kid's bike. So he already been done sold that because he bought another bike off of the internet, off of Facebook. $50 again. Nice bike. But some, you know, had some quirks. You know, it's kind of like a camera. There's always something that you don't like about it. But it served the purpose, and then eventually he bought a bike from Walmart.com, brand new bike. So he kept that one, the one off the internet, and I kept my beach cruiser, right? That's our backup bikes. When we have flat tire and stuff like that, and the stuff don't come in time for you to fix it. So then recently, Joe bought a bike off of Facebook again. It's a used bike, but it's a Trek bike. Really, really great bike. Like a $600 bike. He bought it for like, what did he pay for that bike? $60? I'm going to have to ask him. It was real cheap. Was it 60? Huh. Anyways, he wants to keep the Walmart bike and the Trek bike. And so he's selling the other one. So was that such a long story for nothing, guys? So I want to talk about this Travis Scott concert thing, but honestly I don't know enough about it, so I'm just going to talk about what I know. That's Joe coming in the door. So let me table that conversation first, okay? I want to talk about this cake that I made. So first of all, the book done. The ebook is ready. Not only is the ebook ready, but it's at the site, ready for you guys to buy it for only $5. 25 awesome Thanksgiving recipes, easy to do, a bunch of different pies. I give you the options to make pie dough from scratch, and I have like 3 different pie doughs for the different pies. And then I also have where you could buy the pie dough at the store and just use that if you want to. But why? I have a pie dough recipe in it that use 4 ingredients. You can put that together, child, and make a nice pie. I got apple pie, blueberry pie, pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie. Joe, would you stop making noises back there? No. So he come in and he have to pull the plate. You see me taping a mukbang? I like when Penny told her family, they make all kind of noise in the background, just like regular families. I think you guys like that, right? So the meat is in the air fryer, okay, boo? Baby, the meat is in the air fryer. You got me? Let me wait to eat that meat. It take a long time for me to chew this meat. So, anyways, it's ready for $5. I'm gonna make a commercial about it. By the way, a lot of you have been asking me, do you have to use PayPal to pay for my stuff at my website? No, you don't. All right? If you're already logged into your PayPal account, then it's gonna just direct you to go ahead and use PayPal. But if you're not logged into your PayPal account, then there's an option for you to buy as a guest. And then you can use any card you want at that point, okay? I'll put that in my next commercial that I do for one of my other books. Maybe for the No More Leftovers, I'm going to make a commercial, a single commercial for that book and not have it all together with the two books. And so I'll make a purchase from my own site and show you what you have to do. Anywho, back to the story at hand. While I was doing this book, Jory asked me to make a yellow cake for his fiance. Her birthday is coming up soon this month, and she likes yellow cake with chocolate frosting. I've done it before, but I've had to do a box cake. Let me wait for Jory to get his stuff, okay? Are you done? Are you done? Sir, I'm talking to you. Estoy platicando. Platicando. Is that chatting? Is the bike fixed? Baby? Is the bike fixed?
I don't fix the ratchet, but the stand back to the cable. It's still about somewhere, you know, I did not tell I can't find it.
You might have to bring that back in there and fix it tonight, because Doc, the settee, no.
Oh, okay.
That man coming in the morning at 7:30. So, and she's fine with it. She's fine with a box cake, fine with, you know, the tub chocolate frosting. But I'm not fine with that. You know, she's a very nice, kind, you know, kind-hearted person. And I want to I'm the host of the Bear Pantry Show. I should be able to make a yellow cake for this young lady and make it from scratch and make it nice. So I found a recipe online from this guy. What is this guy name again? Preppy Kitchen. And I've tried a couple of his recipes and they were okay. But so I'm like, the yellow cake looked so good. It looked moist. Everything looked nice. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to follow exactly what he said to do. Child, let me tell you, that cake was a disappointment. So much so that I decided not to edit it as a video to put here on my site. Because sometimes if something come out bad, I will still edit it and show you guys that it bombed, right? I'm not doing that. It's awful. So when Joe get up again, I'm gonna have him get me my Belizean cookbook off the top of the fridge, okay, babe? You don't have to go right now, but when you get up again, because I want to cross-reference the ingredients from his cake to my Belizean cake. Then we're gonna discuss what was off, right? But let me tell you what I did to make the cake. It's one of those cakes where you have to cream the butter and the sugar, and then you mix all the dry ingredients together. And one of the dry ingredients is cornstarch, because I think the cake really calls for cake flour, but he says he's not going to make it with cake flour because he doesn't have that readily on hand. It's kind of hard to find or whatever. So I followed what he did with the cornstarch. And then what else? The wet ingredients, of course, it uses eggs. So after you cream the butter and the sugar together, and he says that the way to get a really, really yellow cake, it goes with the yolks of the eggs, and it also goes with the butter. So when I checked, my butter that I buy from Costco was like really light. Doesn't have any yellow at all to it. So I sent Joe to the store, and he bought another butter that was a little bit darker, but still not dark enough. And when he talked about get the eggs with the really, really dark yellow yolks, how am I going to know that? Until I crack the egg open. I have to crack like 50 eggs to find the dark ones, right? Now I have a question for you guys. Comment below if you know the answer to this. The brown eggs, do they have darker yolks than white eggs? No? Because there's a lot of people that watch my stuff that know about eggs. Next question. Why do chefs or cooks on TV use only brown eggs? Is it because of the way it looks on camera? You know, they look more professional with it. What's the dealio? My Aunt Kathy used to ask me that thing all the time, and I've never been able to find the answer. So let me know. They have the same yellow inside? So some dark and some... Yep. What makes a darker yolk? Is that because the egg oil?
Feed the forward.
What you feed the chicken with makes a darker yolk? Because some yolk look orange. You ever notice that?
I think so.
I don't think Joe know the answer. Joe, are you making up these answers or you know it?
I know it.
Okay. So when I mixed up the batter, so after you cream the butter and the sugar, you add in the eggs one at a time, and I think it's like 3 eggs and 2 egg yolks. Jory, are you out here? When you're done, can you grab me my Belizean cookbook off the top of the fridge?
Yeah, which one?
The Belizean one. It's called Beans and Rice Volume 2.
Okay.
Did you hear what he said? Which one? I have 3 physical cookbooks, and I have my first ebook cookbook. So you add the eggs in one at a time and the egg yolks. And when that's well incorporated, you already mix up the dry ingredients together, right? The flour, I forgot what it was, salt, cornstarch. Thank you, Jory. And then you have the wet ingredients, which is supposed to be buttermilk. You know, anytime you're gonna mess around with buttermilk, your cake gonna be kind of dense. I already knew that. See, I understand a lot about cake making now since I've been making cakes forever. That, you know, some things weren't making sense. So I'm glad Jory brought the book on time for me to show. I screenshotted his recipe. And this is by no means me bashing another YouTuber, because I really like this guy. But I don't know what the hell happened with this thing. So he says 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, right? My cake recipe says 2 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour. So mine has a little bit more flour than his. He says a cup of cornstarch. I don't put any cornstarch in mine. Then he says 1 1/4 cup of granulated white sugar. Mine has 2 and I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. Let's start again. My flour on my Belizean cake recipe is 2 1/2 cups. His is 2 1/4. So I have 1/4 cup more than his. I don't have cornstarch in mine. And then he has 1 1/4 cup of granulated white sugar. Mine has 2 1/3. 2 1/3. You see how much more sugar my cake has? So my cake, of course, is going to be way sweeter, right? Then he has 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I have 1 tablespoon, which 1 tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. So I have 1 more teaspoon than he does. He has 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I didn't put any salt in mine because I said use salted butter. If you're not using a salted butter, 1/2 teaspoon, it'll be fine. Then he has 1/4 cup of unsalted room temperature butter. Child, my thing has 1 cup plus 1/8 cup. So 1/8 cup is 2 tablespoons. So 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. He only has 1/2 cup. But I wasn't afraid, even though the fat was that little bit, I wasn't afraid because he also has some vegetable oil in this cake and mine doesn't have vegetable oil. So I said, okay, I'm going down this rabbit hole, right? So for the extract, I think he put vanilla. I always put pineapple or lemon extract in these light colored cakes because it has a kick nobody's expecting. Everybody's expecting vanilla. So sometimes you kind of mix it up so people that, oh, what's that? That was kind of refreshing. So like I said, he had 3 room temperature eggs and 2 egg yolks. My cake has 5 eggs, the whole eggs. Because the whites of the egg make the cake dry, but and so it gives it structure that the cake needs. But the yellow makes it moist, all right? So you kind of have to watch when it's calling for that type of stuff. So then I use 10 ounces of evaporated milk, and you can also use orange juice or 7-Up or anything like that to put in this cake. He calls for 1 cup of buttermilk, so 1 cup is 8 ounces. So I am 2 ounces more than him. So this cake was a little bit thicker than mine, right? Because it had more powder with the cornstarch. But, child, when I tell you this cake was dense, it was heavy. It said heavy on my chest like, man, that's what Mama used to say with these heavy cakes. So then the frosting that he did, I have a chocolate frosting that I do for my simple chocolate cake. That's really simple to do. It's butter, the unsweetened baker's chocolate, or the semi-sweet one, and powdered sugar and a little bit of vanilla. This one he calls for butter. He calls for 1 1/4 cup of unsalted butter, 1/4 cup of the cocoa powder, which he blooms in some hot milk. Is it milk? Where's the milk at? 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of milk. Yeah, so he blooms the baking cocoa in the 1/2 cup of milk. And then he has a pound of powdered sugar, which is like 3 cups. And he did something else. Oh, he split the milk. So he split the milk in 2. So there was a 1/4 cup of warm milk and a 1/4 cup of warm milk, right? So he split the 1/2 cup of milk. And in half of the milk he put the baking cocoa. In half of the next milk he puts the chocolate chips. He measured out chocolate chips that you put in cookies, and that was a heaping 1/3, a heaping third cup of chocolate chips. So you bloom the cocoa powder in some warm milk. I guess you bloom again or you melt the chocolate chips in the warm milk, and then you put all that together with the powdered sugar and the butter, and it has a smooth, silky thing to it, but it never thickened up. And he said it would thicken up, but in the video, let me tell you something. I should have known that from the time he was showing the cake like this on the plate, and the cake fell, and he grabbed it back and put it right there like that, that cake was gonna be hard and tough and dense. Because a nice soft cake that you can mash with the back of the fork like this rice, you can't grab that cake like that. Your fingers are gonna go through it, right? I should have known right then and there. So then the cake never got as yellow as I wanted it to get. Joe, can you bring me the butters, baby? The Costco butter, the butter you bought from Food for Less, and the Kerrygold. I want to show that. So the Costco butter, the butter you bought from the store, and the Kerrygold. We're going to see the different color on these butters. I didn't have the Kerrygold at the time. Joe couldn't find that nowhere, so he got that at Costco. In the back of the mayonnaise. So you know what? I didn't know I wanted to talk about this drafted cake. And so I'm not ready. So, because the cake never got really yellow, I put some yellow dye in there. And the color didn't look bad. But after, he said to bake it in the small pans, the 6x2. Don't do that. This is too much batter for that. Even with the 3 layers, they get too tall. I would do an 8x2 pan or a 9x2 pan. And I would do 3 of them. The 3 pans. He said for double or triple the recipe. Thank you, baby. Just let me show this. See? The Costco butter is this. You don't have the other one that you bought at Food for Less. There's a box in there. The one that you bought at Food for Less for me that I use in the cake. You don't have that one. Okay, I'm going to cut away because I have an image of it. See that butter Joe bought compared to the Costco butter right here? No, make me see the Kerrygold because I didn't even open it yet. 1 second, okay, babe? I want you to take it back for me. I don't want this to sit here and melt. I really wish I had the other one to put the Kerrygold against it. It's somewhere in the fridge. Huh? If you can't see it, I'll show you at the end. So this is the Costco one, and then the middle one would have been the stuff you got at the store, and this is the Kerrygold. I don't know how much yellow this is compared to the one that he got at the store. I'm really thinking that guy put some dye in that cake. I'm even going to go so far to say I have a conspiracy theory. I love this wrapping, Joe. It feels rich. I have a conspiracy theory thinking that guy went to the store and bought a box cake. Although a box cake wouldn't be dense, but his cake didn't look dense. I don't know, okay, allegedly. Please don't go tell nobody what I say about that. Let me play my commercial here. Are you worried about gaining weight during this upcoming holiday season? I'm not, and I plan on eating everything I like. The operative word here is plan. Gone are the days of eating aimlessly while pacifying myself with food. Many of my subscribers, followers, friends, and family ask, what's the secret to your weight loss success and getting your sexy back? And to that, I'm always happy to share with them that I'm eating from a healthy, balanced plate. Look at the difference it's made. I've lost that quarantine 15 plus 15 more. Because so many people have asked me how to eat healthy while still enjoying regular foods, I decided to write this Healthy Selfie ebook. This 18-page digital book is chocked full of information that I've gleaned over 16 weeks of classes from my healthcare provider and tricks and tips I've learned over the past 30 years of learning about food. Don't let fear stop you from getting started. Invest in your health by purchasing this ebook now while it's on sale. The change you desire is literally at your fingertips. Join me in becoming our healthy selfie. Every day, no matter what time I do my mukbangs, if I do them at 3 o'clock, no, it's 4 o'clock. Let me see the time. It is 4:05. Every day that ice cream man go by, nobody buys from him, but he never misses this street. Oh my God, just shut up. So I don't get demonetized by YouTube. If you hear frying back there, Jory's cooking something, all right? This is the worst time of the day for me to do a mukbang, but it's when I eat. So anyways, the frosting never thickened up. No matter how long I left it, I put it in the fridge, it didn't thicken up. I spread it between the cakes. The cake was way too tall. The cake started to slip and slide. He said put it in the fridge before you cut it. I did. That made it better to cut, but it slipped. Look how it slipped. It slipped right off of its axis into the fridge. And he said in his video that his cake slipped a little, but he fixed it. He knows exactly that cake is trash. You think I could give that to her? No. So guess what I'm gonna do? When I'm about to carry go, I'm gonna make my cake, my Belizean cake. I'm gonna put this Kerrygold butter, and with all the egg yolks, right? I'm gonna put the dye if I have to, and then I'll make the chocolate frosting that I do for my other simple chocolate cake that's in the book called The Pantry Laid Bare. I'm thinking gone. Let me pause again. We all love to eat out, but unfortunately for some of us, it's not the healthiest option. How would you like to make better than restaurant quality meals at home? With my second cookbook, The Pantry Laid Bare, you can make Chinese food without all that added MSG. Breads and bagels are a cinch because no appliances are needed. Pizza. It's not delivery, it's the stovetop. With 3 ingredients plus warm water, make a thick batter, spread in a cast iron skillet, then add sauce and toppings of your choice. Cook 5 minutes uncovered, cover, cook 10 more minutes, then serve. These 111 recipes will bring out the inner chef in you. Get a copy today only at www.barepantryshow.com. Shop safely and securely at www.barepantryshow.com. I guess somebody bought from him. And YouTube will demonetize you. So, that was the story of the cake that bombed. No yellow cake for you. So, make we talk about this Travis Scott thing. I didn't even know that boy had another name. That's just his stage name. I watched Dr. Grande last night, and he said his whole name. In any case, it's heartbreaking what these families have to go through because these people didn't plan better for this thing. First of all, what are they doing having a whole big concert like that in the middle of a pandemic? I know that it was in Texas. Texas do not abide by any of the rules. They throw away the mask a long time ago. They don't have no mask mandate. They probably don't have no vaccine mandate, whatever. So that's why they went and had it there, right? And according to Dr. Grande, with the crowd that showed up, the 50,000, the venue could fit 200,000. It was like 39 people to one security that they had. Apparently some people started to storm the venue trying to get in for free or whatever. But I don't think they're the ones that caused the whole stampede and the crushing. I think they were able to stop them. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that one, okay? But the people that were already in the concert, they started to advance towards the stage. But it looks like this guy has been arrested several times for this type of stuff. This disorderly conduct type stuff at his concerts. Don't ask me who Dali Bali is, because I don't know them people. I know he's one of them Kardashian sisters. The fake billionaire or whatever. They don't matter to me. But I'm going to come out and say, I think he's responsible. And I think the reason why he started to say he was going to pay for them funerals is because some marketing person told him, you better say you're going to pay for them damn funerals. I don't know why they're suing Drake. Jory, do you know why they would be suing Drake?
They're just on stage with them.
Okay, so they're just trying to sue everybody who was there.
If you, one song, I don't think he's trying to follow.
If you can't catch Harry, I guess you'll catch his shirt, right? So they're suing Drake too. And a lot of young people died. A lot of YouTubers are talking about blood sacrifice and this and that. I mean, I know nothing about that. I stay away from topics that's above my pay grade. All I know is that I would never go to a concert like that. I mean, I'm older now, but I'm saying even when I was young, I'd rather go to stuff where I just sit down anyway. We went to Country Music Fest. I was held here in California back in 1987. And that was open. And different artists were performing on different stages. And you could go and listen to the artist you want, right? And I would check off, I want to see Freddie Fenders. I wanted to see John Schneider. I don't like him no more. I want to see this one. But if we went there and it was too crowded, we backed up. There's a lot of stuff. I don't like the stems of the spinach. There's a lot of things my mom taught me, or taught us as kids, that was annoying back then, but now it makes a lot of sense, man. My mom didn't believe in like go sit down at a park, like to go play, like to take my little younger brother out to the park and just sit there and have him go play, because that's the dog, Cora. Go ahead, Joe. She says snipers can be in them apartment building or them homes across from the park. And then you are open target like a bird. I never thought that. Till she told me that. And then, when the kids were little, we owned an Astro van, right? And whenever I would go to the store with them, I would make sure no other vans were parked next to me, because they could open the slide door and grab you. All right? That's how the police and the CIA and them people grab their perps too. They just go in these vans and they open the slide door and just pull them in. So I'll make sure nothing, if something parked next to me, I go get the security from the store. Can you walk me to my car? And I open that thing, chirp, chirp. Open that sliding door and I throw them 3 kids in there. And whatever I went to buy, the clothes, the grocery, whatever. And I climb in behind them and slam the sliding door shut and chirp, chirp. So that the van is shut up. And then I go through the process of putting them in their car seats and stuff and put away the things that I bought, you know, safely. And then I would crawl through the middle, because, you know, in them vans, the seats are split, right? And there's a big space there. Just go through that middle space, sit down in the driver's seat and take off. That's what I used to, I had to be secure. The other day I was thinking to myself, what did we used to do when we didn't have cell phones? How did we ever go to the market and get back safely when we didn't have cell phones? And for that matter, let me go back to 1986 when I got married to Joe. They didn't have no ATMs and no ATM cards. That stuff has been around so long now that I thought those things existed. What Joe used to do, Joe had an account with Home Savings and Loan. So I think it was a savings account. And he had a book. A little leather bound bank book. And every time he wanted to make a deposit or a withdrawal, we'd have to go inside the bank and they would stamp in there. You know how much he took out, how much he put in, and your balance would come off to the side. We never touched the account, only to go put money in there. We didn't pay no bills from that. All the bills were paid with cash. We paid, well, like, the light bill and stuff, we were doing money orders at first till we decided later on to get a checking account. Then we started to write checks, right? But the rent, we used to walk up front and pay the landlord. We used to live in the back house behind the landlord. Them time, me and Joe had no bills. We had the rent, we had light, we had heat, you know, the gas, on a landline. That could only call about 15 miles away without having to pay. I'm loving my vegetables. I'm eating those first because the meat takes me a while to chew and I can't talk with you guys. I might eat that off camera. So, I think the people who booked the venue responsible, the guy, Travis Scott responsible, they all responsible. Them poor people dead. My mom used to always warn us about stampedes. You can't move if they're crushing you. How can you even like run to escape? You know what I mean? I don't like to go where there's crowds. Netflix had a thing when Jada used to go sing at the beach. And there was a long line waiting to get up on the pier for when they opened the thing that they were doing. A little concert was going to be held on the pier. Nobody was crushing nobody. Then people were decent. And they could escape if they were being crushed because they could just drop off into the sand, of course. But I don't know. It look like this guy liked to do that though. He wants people to rage. Anyways, guys, I hope that you didn't mind that I showed you that the disastrous yellow cake in between all the cutaways I did. I'm gonna ask you to check out my website. My friend Gary worked hard on it today. I have 3 physical books, and for the people who are asking, the one that's called Beans and Rice Volume 2, that's a redid of the first one that's being sold on Amazon because the distributor's ripping me off still. I still haven't been able to find a lawyer or whatever to deal with that man. So what I did from the first book, I threw away some of those recipes from that first book, the ones that were not authentically Belizean. You know? Like pancakes, stuff like that. We never used to eat that Belize. So I took those out. And I put in more recipes because from the time I made that book in 2011 till I redid the book in 2018, I learned a lot more dishes from my culture. So I put in more recipes. So I think I always tell you guys it's 120, but I think it's more like 130 recipes I have in that book. That book's only $20, all right? And then the pantry laid bare. I call it comfort food. So somebody said, which one has the comfort foods? It is comfort foods, but I think the way I want to market that book is better than restaurant quality meals at home. Because the stuff that you're going to make in there is stuff that you can buy at the restaurant, like the sweet and sour chicken. But let me tell you, this tastes better than the sweet and sour chicken you could get from the Chinese restaurant, all right? That's my website guy. Yeah, I had to grant permission for him to get into another part of the thing. Is like, I didn't know all those things went away. So anyways, the third book is called No More Leftovers, and that's what I'm calling the small batch book. I have to make a commercial for that. And that's because of the pandemic. This man called me up one day and he said, hey, which one of your books have like a small amount? Because I'm a single guy, all my kids are grown, no grandkids, whatever are coming around. And I just need to make one bread. And I said, well, sir, I have 1 Creole bread and 1 Creole bun, or 2 loaves in my book, Beans and Rice Volume 2. Because I did that with the Creole bread and the Creole bun for you guys. Because I knew that people don't want to make a big amount. I said, but that's all that small batch in there. And then he goes, well, you need to make a book. You know, these Belizean older men, they'll just yell at you, right? You need to make a book about this. And I said, okay, thank you. And that's where the idea was birthed. And it took me a while to do that book because it's a lot of dividing and multiplying and fractions. Right now, I have to go take my Johnny cake recipe, which is 2 cups of flour, and it gives you 8 Johnny cake. And I have to make it to where this person that called and asked me to help them with it, I have to scale it to where they can get 50 Johnny cakes. So I already know I have to scale it times 7. Not times 2, times 3, times 7. All right? So times 7 is almost 5 pounds of flour that they're going to have to use. So after I scale it to that big amount, I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half because there's no way they're going to be able to handle all that flour. I'm going to cut it in half to 2.5 pounds and let them handle that and get 25, and then do this next batch and get 25 so they could do 2 batches. So I have to do that. So those are the 3 physical books that I have, and then I have an ebook. That's the healthy selfie ebook, where I'm showing you how I eat like this and I lose weight and I manage my sugar and my cholesterol and my blood pressure, and none of those, my weight was out of whack, but those other things were not out of whack, but I don't want them to become out of whack, you know what I mean? And then another ebook that just got published today up here at the website. Today is November the 10th. This is the day before Veterans Day. That book is ready. It's 25 delectable Thanksgiving recipes, easy recipes, fun recipes, popular recipes. And it's only $5 for that one. $5. I am not going to be doing the Christmas book. It's too much. When I started to do that book, I fell ill with the virus and I lost 10 days, and I've been making up time since then. It's too much on me. I can't bear it. I can't. So just enjoy the Thanksgiving book. And what I'm going to start working on now is going to be the reality show. Six episodes for season 1. And I'm going to post it behind my paywall at Patreon at the $5 level. My friend Gary is also working on the website so that can have membership. So if you don't want to go download a new app, Patreon, or sign up for a new app, it probably will be available at my website. So you go to my website, pay the $5 a month, and you can see the reality show. That's what we're going to do, child. We're trying to make some products here. So thank you so much for watching the show, for liking, for sharing, for commenting. I look forward to your comments. And I'll see you guys in the next video, all right? Bye. Remember, guys, we're not buying this book. Why? Because my distributor is ripping me off and not paying me any of my royalties. So for this reason, I redid the book that's being sold on Amazon, and I made this book. I removed a bunch of the recipes from the first book because I did not deem them to be authentically Belizean enough, and I put a bunch of brand new recipes in here. So you're gonna get more for your money, okay? So when you buy this book, you're gonna find that the recipes are very easy to understand, and the dishes are gonna come out perfect the very first time. So this book was made in 2018. In the middle of the pandemic in 2020, I made this book, The Pantry Laid Bare, and this is restaurant quality, no, not restaurant quality, better than restaurant quality meals at home. Now in 2021, I have my brand new book. This one's called No More Leftovers. Why? Because I reduced some of the recipes from this book, and I put a bunch of brand new recipes in there, but they're all small batches, all right? Now to purchase, all you have to do is visit my website, www.barepantryshow.com. You can shop safely and securely at www.barepantryshow.com. I like frosting, but what do you think about the cake?
Too hard.
It's too what, Joel?
It's not fluffy, it's too
It's
dense.
too hot. You'll say too hot.